Child Life, and I'm certified since 2007.
Okay, great. So we're going to now move on to our interview questions. And the first question is, what do you do as a child life specialist that you think makes the greatest impact on your patients?
Um, well, I think that what we just do as our profession is that it runs through my blood. I'm there to, help the patients deal with whatever they're going through, whether it's something as small as, needing stitches, or as large as somebody needing an organ transplant. I want to be there to help the patient, the pediatric patient, understand what's happening, give them the tools and the resources so that they have the knowledge and that they then are able to have more mastery and control over the situation. And at the same time, I want to be able to help out the parents. That's a huge part of child life. And as a parent myself, I totally understand that part and that relationship of, you want the whole world to stop for your child. And when you're in a hospital situation, you want to make sure that your needs are being met, and that's your child. So as a specialist, you want to make sure that you're going to every avenue to make sure that they're able to navigate through the medical experience and in a quick and efficient way as much as possible, but also with respect and comfort and reaching their needs.
Great. That sounds like really, like, it's a lot to do, but I think that if you have a passion for it, it goes by really smoothly.
Yes, absolutely. And over time too, with the working with different patients in different situations, you're able to pick up different skills, and then working with the medical team members. That's a huge part. Once you're in with them, and the transitions run much smoother with working with patients.
Great. What part of your job is the most frustrating, or do you believe there is any aspect of your job position that takes away from the focus of what you are there to do?
I think that there's a couple things that are frustrating. One is that we're really not recognized still. Our name is such a weird name that, introducing yourself, it kind of throws people off. We should have some sort of like child development in there. Child life specialist kind of throws things off. So I think the frustrating part is, constantly educating, which is fine, but then making sure that we're getting recognition, not just in the hospital setting, but I think, more globally. It needs to be outside of the hospital walls, in the community, in schools, in different organizations and programs. They should be able to know who a child life specialist is, and that we have these skills to really work in multiple environments to help out with the kids and the patients. With the kids and the families.
So when you say multiple environments, like outside of the hospital, what environments do you mean?
I really feel like that we can go in a lot of different areas, alternative areas. So working in funeral homes, working in dental offices, working at schools, working in, like shelters, working in bereavement services. There's, numerous places that we can go. Working with parenting groups, that's a huge part of what I'm doing right now. So, connecting with these parents just to teach them like how to interact with their child, how to play with their child, give them basic information, because as a new parent, if they don't have this child development side, they have no idea, and they're going into it blindly. And it's just simple, easy tools that we can teach them so that they'll be able to be a more confident parent and be able to understand their child, because of all the developmental stuff that they are not aware of.
I agree. What aspect of your job brings the most joy to you?
I think when you see the child, possibly come in very upset and scared, and then you work with them and you see that transition of being, frightened to having the confidence and being able to advocate for themselves, being able to express and name their emotions, really just turning 180. That is amazing to know that you've planted these little seeds in them
for them to kind of go off into whatever world, whether it's the medical field or outside, and have these skills to be able to express their emotions, to communicate, to get their needs met, and be a more confident child.
So whenever a child doesn't necessarily quickly pick up that they shouldn't be scared or they shouldn't feel like they're underneath, like basically don't let what they're going through overpower them, when they don't pick that up quickly, do you keep on, or do you just
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
There's never giving up. And then there's some kids too, it takes a long time for them to process this. It might be when they're discharged in their home, and it's those kids too that you are more withdrawn, who are angry, and who don't want any interaction with child life, who don't want interaction with anybody. Those are the kids that you really need to work with and continue to work with. It can be so easy for, you'll see in a hospital setting where different medical team members are, not being professional and maybe labeling this child, using more difficult words instead of just being difficult, that the child's, they're just not cooperating, they're whatever it is. But when you educate the staff and you continue to work and push through with that child's going to begin to trust you. And then they're going to be able to open up, and they're going to be able to understand the process and the process that they're going through. And when they're able to identify that, then they're going to be able to overcome it. So it might not necessarily happen in the hospital, but you're giving them those tools so that eventually they can reach it.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Okay. And as far as when you're a child life specialist, you have to create programs for the children. What are the policies that you had to follow whenever you were making a program?
It just depends on what the program is. So, for instance, I developed, when I was working the rehab unit, I wanted to develop some sort of welcoming for these kids when they come in. So here these children are being transferred to my hospital because from whatever condition they're in. So